If you're having trouble with mathematics, numbers getting problematic, don't you panic. Check MathWiz, the best math tutor on the planet. From fraction to algebra, simple maths, add up some trigonometry into that. Learning math is fun with MathWiz, and that's a fact. We're rooting for you.
Hi everyone, welcome to another MathWiz Academy lesson. I do hope that you are going to enjoy what we will cover for today. So provided you have covered the prerequisite skills that are needed, just to recap what we did in part 1. So we would have mentioned that the rule for your single bracket expansion is that you multiply the outside by the first on the inside of the bracket, and then you take that same outside and multiply it by the second inside the bracket. And of course, if there was a third, you could take the outside and multiply it by the third. Okay, so we want to continue with our examples. And so we have the outside multiplied by the first on the inside. So remember, you want to go ahead, write it out, put your little separation. And then you want to have the outside multiplied by the second on the inside. And then going through our rules, so we basically have a positive multiplied by a positive, and so you know you expect to get positive, right? And then 4 times 2 is 8. Writing the positive there is optional. We then want to move on to after the separation. So we have a positive, and how do I know that is a positive? Because whenever we see numbers without signs, we assume they are positive. So we have a positive multiplied by a negative, and the rule says that this is going to be negative. And then 4 times b will give me 4b. So if you're not comfortable with the concept of 4 times b giving you 4b, you want to go ahead and go back to that prerequisite video regarding multiplying your algebra, so that all of this, you can master it and be confident before doing the questions, right? So you can go ahead, go and watch that video, and then you can come back to this one. All right, so let's go ahead and work a second example. For a second example, let us say we have 5 open bracket m minus 3. So we would take the outside, multiply it by the first on the inside, and so we would have 5 multiplied by m. We draw our separation line. We then would have the outside multiplied by the second on the inside, and so we would have 5 multiplied by negative 3. So again, we have a positive multiplied by a positive, so 5 times n will give us positive 5m, right? Because a positive times positive is positive, and 5 times m is 5m. We then have 5 times negative 3. So we have a positive times a negative. We expect to get a negative. And 5 times 3 is 15. I'm going to give you 2 to try on your own. You can go ahead and work those, and then we'll try another set of examples. Okay, so go ahead and try these examples. So press pause, work them on your own, and then you can press play to receive the solution. The first one, provided you worked it on your own already, we would have the outside multiplied by the first on the inside. And so we have 3 multiplied by 2. Right, we draw our separation. You then have the outside multiplied by the second on the inside. And so we have 3 multiplied by minus y. Now again, we have a positive times a positive, so positive 3 times positive 2 gives us a positive, and the 3 times 2 gives us 6. Similarly, for the 3 times minus y, we are going to have positive 3 times negative y. A positive times a negative is a negative, and 3 times y is 3y. So now all of those extra steps in terms of when I was writing positive times positive or positive times negative, as we get more confident, we don't want to write all those steps. That's just for understanding, right? And so if you're not comfortable and you needed to write in all of those steps, just go back Just a few moments in the video so that you can master that on your own, so that you can fill in those steps if you would like to write all of them. Okay, so for the second question, you would have been given 8, open bracket, p minus 1. And so we take what's on the outside and we multiply it by the first on the inside. So we have 8 multiplied by p. We draw our separation line. We then have the outside multiplied by the second on the inside. And so we have 8 multiplied by -1. So working with the 8 times p, we have a positive times a positive. So it is positive, and 8 times p is 8p. We then have 8 times -1. A positive times a negative is a negative. And 8 times 1 is going to be 8. So let us try another set of examples. So let us say we have 5, open bracket, minus 2 minus p. Still going to take the outside and multiply it by the first on the inside. So we have 5 multiplied by -2. We then draw our line. We then have the outside multiplied by the second on the inside. And so we have 5 multiplied by minus p. Now we have a positive multiplied by a negative, which is going to give us a negative. And again, we have positive multiplied by negative, so we will still get a negative. So 5 times minus p is going to be minus 5p. Okay, let's go ahead and try another one. Okay, and as our second example, let us say we have 3 open bracket minus b minus 4. We're going to take the outside, multiply it by the first on the inside, and so we have 3 times minus b. We then want to take what's on the outside and multiply it by the second on the inside. So we have 3 multiplied by minus 4. And so we have a positive multiplied by a negative. And same for over this side, we have a positive multiplied by a negative. Now, a positive multiplied by a negative is a negative. 3 times b is 3b. And 3 times 4 is 12. And so your answer would be minus 3b minus 12. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 to try on your own, and then we are going to call this video complete. Try these questions. Once you're through, you can press play. So I would suggest that you press pause, work them out, and then press play when you're ready to see the solution. So provided you worked out the first one, we are going to take what's on the outside and multiply it by the first on the inside. We are then going to take what's on the outside and multiply it by the second on the inside. Okay, and so we have a positive multiplied by a negative, positive multiplied by a negative. So for the first one, 4 multiplied by minus t, a positive times a negative is a negative, and 4 times t is 4t. 4 times minus 1, a positive times a negative is negative, and 4 times 1 is 4. For the second question, we are going to take what's on the outside and multiply it by the first on the inside. And so we have 7 multiplied by minus 5. We are then going to take what's on the outside and multiply it by the second on the inside. And so we have 7 multiplied by minus m. So again, we have a positive multiplied by a negative, and we have a positive multiplied by a negative. So a positive multiplied by a negative gives you a negative, and 7 times 5 gives you 35. Same, positive times a negative gives us a negative, and 7 times m gives us 7m. So provided you found this video useful, be sure to leave a comment below. If there's any way that I can improve your experience here at Mathers Academy, be sure to let me know. Ensure that you are telling your friends, ensure that you are subscribed and liking the videos. And of course, I am rooting for you, I believe in you, and I will see you in the next video.